Hello, good evening, everyone. You're all welcome to Conversation with Susanna on this platform this evening. So we're back again. I know we've had a break for a while, and just we're just back again having our usual conversation. So tonight, for those of you that might be joining me for the very first time, this is Dr. Susanna Olatunji Kamalafe, and on this platform, it's called Conversation with Susanna. I have a guest with me all the way from South Africa. So if you are joining us now, or you get the opportunity to watch these, to click on the link and like the YouTube on YouTube, or you can also subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is Conversation with Susanna. And also, if you're watching me on LinkedIn, do like, put a comment, tell us your feedback. And if you have any question, if you'd like to get to know Faye a little bit more, just send me any of your messages and I can always link you guys together. I'm going to bring Faye Goodwin into the studio. She's a life coach. She's going to tell us a little bit about what she does and how she decided to make the choice for this career.
Hi,
Hi,
everybody.
Faye. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
Fine. Good to have you in the studio.
Oh, it's lovely being here. Thank you very much.
Okay. We also have someone else with us. We have Cameron, which is Faye's son. He might just drop in the next few towards the end just to say hi and just to give a bit of comments to our conversation. But before we do that, Faye, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
Good, good, good. Yes, like I said, life has to go on. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So, I am a life coach and I'm an Equus Life Coach. So, you'll often find me at the stables working with people alongside a horse, not riding, because there's no riding involved with the coaching that I do, but just being next to the horse. The horse has no tack, so the horse is free to engage or not engage. And it's my favorite place to be because people get to see how they're showing up because horses never ever lie. And it's just a safe space. It's a fun space. It's outdoors. We can get nice and dirty. We can feel the sun on our face. Um, and the changes that I see in people after just spending a little bit of time with the horses is really, really special.
Thank you for that. Guys, if you're watching this, you can see on the screen the website to fayegodwin.com, www.fayegodwin.com. So you can read a lot about her there and get to know more about some of the things she does. We're definitely going to give you a good insight, but you can go and explore yourself on the website. So I'm going to ask you my first question to you tonight, Faye, is this. Can you tell us about your journey and what inspired you to pursue your current career?
Absolutely. So I have two boys, and my boys were at primary school. And the one day, Cameron had the courage to come to me and say to me, Mom, I really think that you don't need to be with us while we're doing our practices. You can come on match days, but not every afternoon. And I was currently working in accounts at the time. And after Cameron said this to me, Dale agreed. Dale's my youngest son. And I suddenly just didn't know where I fitted in into this thing called life anymore. And then I questioned, is this as good as it gets? You know, I've got the job. It's okay. It's not great. I'm married to a wonderful man. I've got two beautiful children. Is this how it's going to be now? Am I just going to have to go to work every day, Monday to Friday, until I retire one day? Is this genuinely as good as it gets? And round about that time, a friend of mine actually sent me as a gift. She sent me to a life coach, and I had no idea what a life coach was. And she sold it to me as it's a Martha Beck life coach, and that just didn't help me because I'd never ever heard of Martha Beck. But I liked what this coach was teaching me. I liked the thinking behind it. So I studied up Martha Beck. I then signed up for one of her courses. I then signed up for her coach training course. And then there was a South African Martha Beck summit where all the South African Martha Beck coaches got together, and Martha Beck actually came and joined for the one afternoon. And every coach, as you know, has their own sort of flavor. So you'll have a mindfulness coach, you'll have an eating coach, you'll have a labyrinth coach, you'll have a TRE coach. And there was an Equus coach. And she had a 2-day workshop, and I signed up for that. I had no idea what it was, but it was with horses. I didn't know horses. I was very scared of horses, but it sounded interesting. So I signed up for that. And in the 2 days doing that workshop, I learned more about myself than I'd ever known. And it just was so amazing to me. And I asked the brains behind it, who was Koelle Simpson, I said to her, how do I do something similar where I can have an impact, something similar, but without horses because I don't know horses? And Koelle said to me, if you sign up for my course, I will teach you everything that you need to know. And true to her word, that's exactly what she did. And I'm very, very happy to say that it was not as good as it gets. There was so much, and there is so much more to offer in life. And I am having the time of my life. I'm living my passion.
Wow, that's a story there. That's something you can put into a book there. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah, finding your part through, trying to find yourself, and then you find your own parts whereby now you can, people say that if you do what you love, it looks as if you're never working in a day of your life. You won't feel it that way. And I can
100%.
understand, yeah, I can understand when your son comes to you and you now feel as if you're not needed any longer because it's trying to say that mom, we can do this now. And that could be telling sometimes because you feel like, oh, am I losing this boy? So I thought yeah, and I know how that
Absolutely.
feels. Yeah, sometimes women. These are the things that we cuddle ourselves with. We want to be wanted, needed by our kids, and want them. But it's hard to see that they grow and they want you to let go and let them just being an adult. I know that I did. Yeah, yeah. That was part of the conversation we were having at my friend's place. When you
Yes.
have to make that decision that you need to let go, and you have to, you know,
You do, and they deserve it. And that's really what we train our children for. We
yeah,
want them, we teach them to be independent. And then when they
independent.
become independent, we don't know what
It's
to
hard
do
to
with
let go.
ourselves.
Yeah. So, but I'm happy that they gave you a reason to find your own passion, because
Oh,
yes, you
absolutely.
might have a good husband, have a wonderful man beside you. You have your children; they are good, but you want to live as well. You want to live. You want to have a reason to live. Apart from that, something you can give
Exactly.
back, something you can really give back to the world. And you've been gifted, and now you've embarked on giving back to the world what you've received. That was
Absolutely.
that was surprising for you to for you to sign up for something you're so terrified of, and then ending up being a career.
I know, but it was just the most amazing experience.
Yeah, I'm very I have phobia for all animals, so I can imagine what you're saying, and I don't think I will have the courage to sign up for anything that I know I'm scared of. So I have to say, good of you to do that. That's a
You
big
know
courage.
what? To be fair, I only signed up for it after I had done the workshop and I had had a coach standing next to me
Yeah,
for a lot of the time. So I didn't go and
mm,
sign up for it blind. But
yeah.
but it was a very big brave step.
A brave step indeed. So my
Yeah.
second question, and this takes us to the second question that I'm going to ask you this evening. What are some of the biggest challenges you have faced along the way? And how did you overcome these challenges? Because it's not easy to just start a business.
No.
It comes with a lot of challenges, and especially if you're trying to break through into a new industry, you're starting with something new, you want to earn an income from it, either part-time income or full-time income. You want to earn an income, it's a business, you need to make money. What are these
Exactly.
challenges that you face, and how do you deal with those challenges?
So first of all, the first challenge is, obviously would be finances. So
Mm,
um as you mentioned previously, I am from South Africa and
mm,
we've got the South African rand, and the rand compared to international currencies is not always the greatest. And so
mm,
we often have 20 to 1 or 25 to 1 if we're looking at the pound. So
mhm,
it's particularly expensive for us to study something international, and the Equus coach
mhm,
training that I studied was international,
mhm,
or is international. So that was quite difficult, but I had a very supportive family who saw that this was a passion of mine, and they were very, very encouraging. And
mm,
um, the boys very happily, you know, um, didn't mind if they didn't have everything that their friends had while I
mm,
was pursuing the studying and that. Um, and there are days now where you have a look. Like last week, we had some really bad weather here, and I, my clients cancelled. And when they cancel, it's loss of income.
mhm,
But there's always a reason why, and I always believe that when the client comes, it's exactly the right time. So yeah, I can get a little bit upset about the fact that last week we didn't have money paying clients, but it gave me the chance to do other stuff, and I know that my client wasn't at the right place for that. So that was quite a big thing. Um,
mm.
Coaching and starting your own business takes a lot of time,
Yeah.
and the one thing that I was I was taught at the very, very beginning of my coach journey was always put family first.
Mhm.
So if if there was something that I needed to do for my children or my
Yeah.
husband, or there was
Mm,
coach training, and it was critical that I needed to be there for my family won. If there was a client, I had a client once, and it was a Saturday morning, and we were on our way. We were literally locking the door when we got a horrible phone call to say my brother had passed away. And I had a client that I had to go and meet. What do you do? And it was such an easy decision. And my family are very well trained in it's family first. And
mm,
I actually think it was Cameron that took the phone, and he phoned my client, and he said to my clients, I'm very sorry. We've had a terrible tragedy in our family. My mom isn't able to make the coaching session. She'll be in touch with you as soon as she can. And my client was very, very understanding. And life happens, and there are going to be horrible challenges like that. But if you've got the non-negotiable, so for me, family is non-negotiable. So
Yeah.
that came first.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's also, in South Africa, we are lucky. We are in a very similar time zone to Europe. So that's great. But a lot of your coach training or a lot of the programs that you want to do are in America or they're in Australia, and there's a huge time difference. So
Mm.
you need to decide how worth it is it to you to work out of office hours. For me, it was quite simple. I needed to do this, and I don't mind working at 9 o'clock at night. I do
Mm.
mind working at 2 o'clock in the morning. So I choose where I want to be, where I'm at my best, because I don't want to give my client second best.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if I'm not my best at 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm not going to sign a client on for 2 o'clock in the morning coaching slots.
Mm.
We'll find a
Mm.
slot that works really well for both of us.
Yeah.
There were, or there still are, a lot of naysayers, a lot of people that will poo-poo coaches and coaching, and that's okay. That's their business. I know where my boundaries are. I'm not a therapist. I'm
Yeah.
not a counselor. I'm not a
Yeah.
psychologist, and I'm not a
Yeah.
psychiatrist. So I
Yeah.
know where my limits are. I know where my boundaries are. I work very well with all of those people, but I'm not that. And I don't try to pretend that I am. But some people will come to me and they'll say, you're not a therapist. I know I'm not a therapist and I don't claim to be a therapist. So if you know your lane and you stay in your lane, for me it's very simple. And they
Mm-hmm.
can carry on and they can judge me to the ends of the earth. That's their business. My business is I don't profess to be that. I don't step into that lane. And I would encourage anyone that's being a coach to stay as a coach, not to pretend
Mm.
that they are a psychiatrist. You're going to
Yeah.
get yourself into trouble. It's not worth
Mm-hmm.
it. Um, the one of the one things that's very big at the moment is people are saying we don't need coaches. We've got AI. I can go to Chat GPT. I can go to Claude, and you
Yeah.
know what? You really can. You can
Yeah.
get a lot of really really good feedback and a really good information, but you don't get that human personal touch. And
Yes.
that's, and, we just need to remember that. And also, AI definitely can't come onto the stables and work with the horses.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you need the horses and you need me. Um, and AI has its place
Yeah.
and it's really good, but AI doesn't give that last little bit that just makes us a little bit different.
Yeah.
And then one of the last challenge, which is a really really big challenge,
Mm.
is that our self belief isn't always where it should be. It's sometimes a
Yeah.
little bit lower.
Yeah.
And um, for me to overcome that challenge is to surround myself with the right people, to
Mm-hmm.
surround myself with family and friends that know, like, trust, support me, and not the naysayers. When I'm having a low day, I've got coaches. I'm not afraid to be coach. If I'm wanting to coach someone, I need to be coachable. So
That's
I will
good.
reach out to a coach and I will be coached. Um, and, you know, if it gets really, really bad, I just
Mm-hmm.
take myself off to the stables and I go and put myself with the horses. And, and then I'm back.
You said something there about the AI. They can't give the connection that you and I can give. It doesn't matter how real it looks like when you talk to them. When even somebody else's voice is speaking back to you, it doesn't sound like a real voice. You know when a real person speaks to you than when an AI speaks to you. And the emotions that goes with talking with a real person, the connection that allows you to connect with that person, their real life experiences that they're using to coach you. AI doesn't have those experience at all.
No.
AI is not up to date. AI can only tell you what is inputted into them. So they might not know what has happened just yesterday or let's say 2 years, 2 years down the line, because they are only based on what has been inputted in them. And those are the informations that they feed back to the people and they're only feeding you back information. They're not connecting with your soul, and that is what makes it
Exactly.
different. And so it doesn't matter. I'm not worried anymore with AI, because I know that real people want real connection. And
100%.
yeah, and that's the way. And I totally believe that's a good approach to the way you approached it. And there was something you said, that if I'm going to be coaching someone, I have to be coachable. And that is inspiring, because that really allows you to self-regulate yourself when it is needed,
Exactly.
because there's so much you take in from people, and sometimes you really need to do that self-regulation yourself. And who do you then speak to? Who, having that good understanding, though it's a challenge, but then it's something that leads me to this question that I'm going to ask you now.
Mm,
And the question says that, how do you self motivate and focus when working on a long term project? Because I know I do a bit of coaching, a bit of counseling, not coaching, counseling. And when I do that, when I first started, because I do it on a freelance, and when you first started, just like, when you're starting up a business, you just want every customer. You want to have every customer. And I couldn't. So I was doing, okay. I said, well, what is the best way to do it? I said, I'm going to do pay as you go. And that's it. So, and I started with that. And then, but then I realized along the line that people can just call me at the last minute and just cancel, and then you're left with nothing. So I said to myself, no, I need to change my method. Yes, I need a client, I want this, but I'm going to change. And I'm going to make sure that whoever becomes my client, a minimum of 3 months, they have to sign up for the program. And on the basis that you're signing up for 3 months, you pay for 1 month, you can pay on a monthly basis. If they cancel, the money is gone. You can fix another time. I can give you half of the hour just to be able to talk, rather than you losing your time and your money totally. But you will only get those half hour on the basis that you informed me of the cancellation or anything. I'm prepared for it. But if you just leave it to the last minute and cancel, then it's gone. Just like you said, there's something really, really that it's out of your own control. Just like having a call an hour before and things like that. So something like that, yeah, that is understandable. So tell us, how do you then self motivate yourself, and how do you focus when working on a long time project with someone? And I think when we were doing our pre conversation, we talked about that, about this idea of having a long, if you have a project for a long time, that it's important to keep your client more than just once, because then they don't really get the full. So let's say you have a client for a month. How do you motivate yourself to keep going with that?
Well, when I've got a client, I like to do minimum of 4 sessions. 4 to 6 sessions is a really good starting point when especially when you're working with the horses.
Mm.
And I love to, I love to have different. I've got different pages that are or different notes that I make. I've got specific questions for myself. Um, and what I love to do is I record all my Equus coach sessions, and I love to go back and I love to look at the photos and I look at the videos on how the client is responding, and I make extensive notes after each session, and I give the client some homework, and then I check in with the client on how they're doing. But every week that I work with the client, or every session that I work with the client, we're going the next step. And so often the very first session that that we start at, the client is really, really scared to go in by themselves. And I'm standing there and I'm holding their hand and I'm almost in front of them because they're too scared to go beside me to touch the horse. And just watching how they start to relax. And so I make all these notes, and as I'm preparing for the next session, because we know ultimately what we're looking to gain by this, and often I'm working with individual women who are trying to reconnect with themselves. They somewhere along the line they've lost connection with themselves. They've forgotten who they are, who the real me is, or they are they're moving into a new stage of their life and they're learning who they are becoming. And so we've got an end path, but just to watch this journey and watch how they suddenly start letting go and shedding all these things. And I've got this is my big thing that I'm wanting to do week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. And every single client is different because every single person is different, but there are certain things that I'll want to be doing with the ladies. Um, Sometimes we'll have a vision board that we'll do with the clients right in the beginning of their journey, and we'll be looking at the vision board and we'll be looking to see how they are, how closer, how what are they doing that's taking them that one step closer towards that goal or that vision that they've got. But what's really nice with that is that when we work with the horses, we put down things like cones or pool noodles or a top, and then that will become metaphorical of the goal or the vision that we're going for. And they get to experience what it feels like to actually work through that goal and achieve it, and how to celebrate afterwards. So it takes all the pressure away from that. So that's one of the things that I love to do. But for
Mm-hmm.
me, if I've got a big goal for myself personally, I'll break my big goal down the same as I do with my clients into
Mm-hmm.
smaller goals and what I'm doing. And I love to tick it off or to cross it out. This is what
Yeah.
I'm needing to do and cross it out.
Mm.
But I
And that
have,
and that motivates you,
oh,
like
it
seeing the
does.
steps, seeing the
It
little,
does.
little steps. Yeah, it gives you that boost to say, yes, I've done this.
Exactly.
Good. Yeah, I'm going to this. Yeah.
Exactly. And what I also love to do is I love to put, so I don't have the client that's signed up yet, but the client is signing up in September. I make a
Mm-hmm.
note of client number 1 for September. This is the client. This is the amount of money that I'm going to be invoicing, that I'm going to be getting. And then I know September's looking to be a pretty good month. That
Pretty
client
good
is
money.
signing up. So yeah. And then, then as I get closer to the end of August, then I invoice that. And then it's another tick. I've done that. But
I've done
it's,
that.
yeah, that's my
That's
because I can
those are
see
the
I
those
can
are the
see
little
it.
steps. Yes, those are the little
Exactly.
steps that does really
Exactly.
motivate you and put that smile. I can see the way you smile when you're talking about it. So those
Oh
little
yeah.
things just motivate and put those smiles on you.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
now that you have a smile, a big smile on your face, you're motivated, your client is motivated. What advice would you give to someone, could be anyone out there listening to you, and just going along with this journey with us as we talk here, have this conversation, aspiring to follow a similar path? Now, it might not be they want to do what you're doing, but they might just want to start a business, or they might just want
Exactly.
to take a step of faith to say, I want to be coach, or I need to break this barrier. They might want to sign up for your program. What would you advise them to do?
You know, I would advise them, it's really simple. Just go for it. Do it. And if it feels hard, that's okay. It's going to be messy and that's okay.
Mhm.
But keep looking and just keep acknowledging what you've done and that you've actually today you're a step closer to that dream or that goal or that new thing that you're doing than you were yesterday because you didn't give up. You didn't give in. You stopped existing and you started living, and have that passion and go for your passion. And it's, for me, it's very important to go for your very own personal passion, not
Mm-hmm.
for everybody else's passion or
Purpose,
what
yes.
everyone else is telling you your passion should be.
Should be. Mm.
Because th- these people are very well meaning, but they don't know, they don't know you in your deepest moments. What is that passion that may not make sense to anybody? When I
Yeah.
told when I told my friends I'm going to go and study to be an Equus Life Coach, and they were shocked. They, some of them laughed, some of them thought that I had lost my marbles, but that was okay. For me, I didn't even understand it. I just knew that I had to do it. It was, that desire was so big. But I would
Mm-hmm.
also say, take something that stretches you just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Don't settle for less. Take
Yeah.
something. You're following your passion. You're signing up for something. You're starting a business. Maybe you're starting a side hustle, or
Coaching
you're going
section,
to,
yeah.
but do something that just stretches you just a little bit, because
Yeah.
we can do so much more than we give ourselves credit for. And
Exactly.
don't let yourself down.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
get to the end of the end of your decade. Don't get to the end of your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, whatever, and look back and say, oh, um, Dean Graziosi always says the best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago. The second best time to plant a tree is now. And
Mm-hmm.
it's the same with us. Don't wait. Don't wait until you are thinner or fitter or more financially successful, or the economy is better.
Mm-hmm.
Just go for it now. Now is
Yeah.
the perfect time to go for it.
Um, Faye Goodwin, you've you've told us about, you've let us see your passion. We can see, through your eyes, through your smiles, through your body language, we can see that passion in you. Faye, you've also tell us how you motivate yourself, how you important it is, and you realize how important it is to motivate yourself to celebrate those little milestones that you achieve, because not everybody understands how important it is to celebrate those little things. You've
Absolutely.
always you've also advised us and the viewers and other people that will have the opportunity to watch this. You've advised us to go for it. Just do it.
Exactly.
Just do it. So tell us, are there any upcoming projects or initiative you're particularly excited about that you can share with us?
Absolutely. I am going to be starting in September again with an online free um, weekly workshop, not a weekly webinar, just where I give one coaching tool and we discuss how we can use it just to help us be a little bit better in ourselves, to stand a little bit taller, to be a little bit happier, to help us in who we're becoming. So I'm going to start that in September. Um, I'm very, very excited. We started with remote workshops. So um, in South Africa, I tell people I have a car and I'm not afraid to use it, but I have a passport and I'm not afraid to use it either. So last month we went to a lovely little seaside village in South Africa, and we went and
Mhm,
did some Equus coaching over there. But
mhm,
we are very, very excited because we are taking our work international. We are going later this week. We're actually going into Namibia in Africa, and then
mhm.
hopefully later in the year we will be in Ireland and in Scotland doing some
Wow.
Equus work with with people over there. And I'm
Yeah.
really, really looking forward because I think we are going to be meeting, and I'm going to
Yes.
introduce you to the work that I do, because the horses that we use are not trained. So I can
Yeah.
go anywhere in the world, and I know
Yeah.
without a doubt
Mm-hmm.
that the horses are going to do what they need to do, and everyone is going to get what they need to get out of that. So
Yeah.
we're going to be doing that. We also have we are working on a retreat, a more a holiday retreat to see those hidden gems in Scotland. So that's
Mm-hmm.
going to be in October. We're just finalizing the plans for that. And then in the next year, we are looking at opening up a retreat center that's we wanting to make it in a number of different places in South Africa, but we're also wanting to make pods internationally, where it's a retreat center that people can go, and the people that can afford to go will pay for
Mm-hmm.
it, and the
Mm-hmm.
people that can't afford to pay for it can also go, and they can also get what they're needing.
What
And
they needed.
it's going to cover all the different modalities of how horses can help us to heal. So it's
Mm-hmm.
going to be the coaching that I do. I do team building. Well, my husband and I, we do team building with the aid of horses. So we'll be doing
Mm-hmm.
things like that.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a lot of success working with teenagers. So there's going to be work with teens. There's going to be
Yeah.
work with autistic people because they respond really, really well. A lot of them
Uh-huh.
working with horses.
Mm-hmm.
There's also going to be a space we'll bring in a grief counselor that will work with the horses.
Mm-hmm.
So people in deep grief, people that have gone through severe trauma or acute trauma, there'll be a space for them. There'll be a space for riding. There'll be
Mm.
a space for riding for disabled or for
Yeah.
um, anything where horses help us to heal. That will be
Mm-hmm.
covered. There will be the appropriate therapist, coach, counselor, whatever we need. That's what we're going to
Mm-hmm.
be bringing in. And we're going to make it that those people that can afford to pay will pay. Those people that want to sponsor can sponsor. We will display their names with pride.
Mm-hmm.
And those
Mm.
people that need the help, that need the support, and they can't afford it, there'll be a space for them too, with no judgment.
Wow.
No
Wow.
one's going, no one's going to know who has
Wow.
paid and who hasn't paid, and no one's
Yeah.
going to be treated differently.
Yeah. I have to tell you, that's so much there that you've said there. That's a lot you're giving. That's a lot of you that you're giving into this. And I'm just hoping and praying and just looking forward to see someone tap into this opportunity and this journey with you as well, which I'm grateful to be part of this journey and seeing all this wonderful thing that you'll be doing. We still have more things that we're going to be talking. We're going to come back again, whereby you're going to tell us a little bit about the work yourself and your hobby, what we're doing, the team development for complaints, so that if there's any complaint or organization out there that are looking for somebody to support them about team development, not just team building, but having a team development within an organization that has a foundation, a solid foundation rooted within the structure, the policies and the procedures and strategy of an organization. That will make a big difference because I think most organization is only talked about team building rather than developing team development, which would have had a solid foundation within the organization. Cameron, I hope you're getting ready because I'm going to bring you into the studio. So if you need to put up a shade, if you need to do whatever you need to do, you might also need to put on your speaker because we're going to bring you into the studio if you're ready to come in and join us. Um, and I just want Cameron to come in first, and wanted him to just, I'm sure he's been listening to the way you've been talking, and I'm sure down there is like, oh, that's my mom. I can, can imagine how he's feeling. But then after, are you ready, Cameron, to speak?
Where is he?
It's somewhere there. I hope it's just not out of the.
It could be that they're having load shedding and they have no power.
Okay, okay. Oh, okay, that could be okay. Um, we're just going to type message him to say if he's ready. He should just let us know when he's ready. I don't think he's no power because he's able to come into the studio and so that won't be the issue. He might just have stepped out of the camera and we just wait for him to come. I'm going to have a short break. We're going to have a short break, and then after the break, we're going to bring you back if he's ready then, and if not, I'm going to get Faye to tell us how we can be able to contact her if you want to register for any of those. Sure, and she's going to tell us if you're anywhere in the world how you can avail of the service that she provides. So, welcome back to everyone. I'm sure you guys have been having a fantastic time with Faye Goodwin. So, if you look on my screen there, you will see the website www.fayegoodwin.com. I'm also going to in the chat in the comment space, either on YouTube or on LinkedIn. If you look at the comment space, you have an opportunity to see the website. I'm also going to add other links that Faye has so that in case you want to link with her on LinkedIn. So I'm going to add the link. Cameron said he's here, so I'm sure he's ready now to come in. Um, so if you look at the comment space as well, there's a link there. Yes, he's ready to join in. So there's a link there as well, which you can click on, and you can also connect with Faye on LinkedIn if you need to connect with her on LinkedIn. So I'm going to have the LinkedIn on the screen. So can you see that, guys? So if you have the opportunity to watch this, or if you're watching us live, you can just click on that link and add yourself, introduce yourself to Faye. If you want to avail of our services, you can communicate with her through the LinkedIn. So yeah. How are you?
Hello, hello. Sorry, I'm audible.
You seems to be the hard one to get.
Yeah, sorry. I was struggling with some connectivity issues. Sorry about that.
Okay, that's okay. That's okay. That's no problem. So, I'm sure you've been hearing what your mom is saying about our journey and how she gets into this career. I would
Yeah.
like to hear your own side. Well, what do you want people to really know about the service she provides to the community, and the person behind that business? Because yes, we have the
Mm,
Faye Godwin life coach. Who is that
yeah.
person behind that? Who is this person behind that? Yeah.
Well, I think the without being biased, um, but is first and foremost an incredible mother, an incredible wife to my dad. Um, Arguably my biggest supporter. I'm sure there's a lot of people who would probably not doubt that. Um, and apart from that, just an all-round good person. I think if you look at the world today, without going on a tangent, I think around the world we seem so set on tearing it apart that my mom is one of the few people who is just trying to put a little bit of it back together. And each ecosystem is its own world in its own right. And whether we look at the world as the planet Earth, or whether we look at the world as the universe, or whether you look at the world as the two or three people you have in your home, um, everyone has their own story to tell. And my mom just helps people live that story and not be
Mm,
ashamed to live it. I think a lot of people um, think that it's not okay to not be okay when it is. And my mom just uses, of course, her own talent and her own willpower, as well as the use of horses to get people, and more importantly women, to live their authentic life. I think for a long time, due to society and culture and whatnot, the voice of women wasn't necessarily you know um, approved, or given a platform to speak off of. And I think we're within that, life also comes at you so fast now that there's a million different things you want to achieve. And my mom just wants to empower women to be proud to be women, but equally just empower people in general to live their best life. So behind the scenes, there's a lot. So I could go on and on, but yeah, it's primarily one of the most incredible people you will come to meet, as I'm sure the viewers will have seen come the conclusion of this. Um, and I'd encourage everyone to reach out, and I'd encourage everyone to take the time to get to know one another better, and especially individuals like my mom. I think if you just give it a chance, um, you might find yourself pleasantly surprised at the skill set which she has, and which she is able to help people in their own personal capacities, and also joint capacities with teams, and the greater um, you know corporate field, if you will. But yeah, even from a neuroscience perspective, I think a lot of people just misunderstand the long-term effects of stress, the long-term effects on your physical and mental health, especially, and how poor mental health does have a domino effect onto your physical health, etc., etc. So this is by no means um, something that my mom had a dream one night and then woke up and decided to do it. This is based in a lot of physiological evidence, and of course some of it is nuance, but in the same facet, stress should not be undermined or underplayed. So yeah, even it doesn't have to be stress. I think just people in general. Hey, you get to work better with people, and yeah, I'm a huge advocate for it, and I encourage other people to try to.
I have to say that I don't see who is going to listen to the way you presented that will not be emotionally, psychologically connected to what you're saying.
Yeah,
And like you said, it's not just because she's your mother; it's because you yourself can see what's the benefits of really people taking advantage of that opportunity to get that coaching. There's so many people dealing with mental health. There's so many things out there. There's so many people dealing with grief, even not just mental health. People dealing with grief, um, and you need those things. You need it because the effect of stress on your body cannot be overemphasized. Um, and sometimes we don't realize the damage. Most of the disease these days, the cancer, so many things out there as a result of stress. And sometimes things are doing you when you go to your GP, that's what we call them here, and they really don't understand what is going on with you. and they just tell you that you might be stressed, and then you're sometimes you don't know you're stressed because you feel that, oh, I'm coping with life, but you're not really coping with life. We sometimes we're just taking a different strategy to life, and we're just
Yeah.
doing it differently, but we're not coping in any form. So thank you so much for the way you brought light and life into that conversation, and the way you I really have to say I really appreciate that, the way you just brought life into it, and that is really good to hear. And again, thank you so much for that. So, and coming from a neuroscientist perspective as well, so
Mm.
you're not just saying things, you're saying it coming from a place of knowledge, so that people won't feel that it's just something you're saying, but you're speaking out of a place of knowledge. So,
Yeah,
thank you so
I,
much
I
for
I
that.
agree, but that's also what I think people forget is that the price of love is grief, and
Hmm.
we all have things which we love. Humans are designed to love. But even if you look at that from a stress point of view, there's so many different things that the body is so good at masking. Even our own intellect, we're so good. Why do you wake up at a certain time? Because you got to go to work. Why do you place so much emphasis on that? And you slowly but surely, you're able to train yourself to deal with things, and that's what makes humans so incredible if you compare ourselves to other mammals. But
Mhm.
it's neither here nor there. It's just a blank statement that there is better out there should you choose to invest in yourself. And the domino effect of it is, hypothetically, let's say you work with someone like my mom or someone else. It doesn't have to be bias specific. But if you become a better asset to yourself,
Hmm.
imagine if that then goes to your immediate environment. So then you become a better asset to your partner, to your siblings, to your spouse. Then they become better assets in their own right. You become a better asset at work, become a better asset to your teammates. Your teammates then take that, etc., etc., etc. So, the law of odds is greatly exponential when you take a little bit of ownership. And arguably, the first step is always the hardest. That's
Yeah.
natural. Your mind's going to tell you no. Um, but I encourage everyone. I mean, like, at one point, right, and this is a reality we all have to agree with. At some point, we will no longer be here, and whatever you choose to put your faith in, that's between you and yourself.
Mm.
But with the time that you have here, would it be that bad that you just start to understand yourself better?
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what it is, really. And
Yeah.
yeah,
And you're totally right, because some of us, that is what we do. We spend our whole life trying to do, try to understand ourselves. Sometimes we associate that to faith, but we are actually really searching for ourselves. We really want to search for our inner self to know who we are, and from knowing yourself, then all the answers, you get
yeah.
answers to other things. Yeah. Really, thank you so much. I think it's just overwhelming for me, and it's so humbling to hear the way you actually really present it. I think she wouldn't have picked any other person as better than the way you present it. It's really so humbling. I have to say, yeah. Thank you so much for that.
No, thank you,
So,
thank you. I'm humbled by
yeah,
that. Thank you.
thank you. Coming back to you, Faye, you're going to now tell us and tell everyone if they how do they get to if they are interested in these. I've already put on your website and your LinkedIn, but just tell us how they can reach you.
So they can send me an email to Faye with an E at fayegoodwin.com. So that's Faye, as you've already put out there. And I will share my details over here.
Yeah.
Or they can send me, I'm on WhatsApp. So I'm very, very
Yeah.
happy for them to send me a WhatsApp.
Mhm.
Um, my My cell phone number is your area code plus two seven
Yeah.
seven
Mhm.
one 403 7049. If you put that in the details,
Mhm.
they can WhatsApp me. If I don't respond immediately, don't worry. If it looks like I haven't read your message, I promise you your message is there, and I sometimes will leave it as showing as unread until I reply to you, but I will reply within 24 hours.
Yeah.
And I'm really looking forward to, if you've got a question, sooner ask me the question and get the answer than
Yeah.
sit with the question. There's no judgment on the questions that you ask. You're welcome to ask me anything.
Mm.
Um, if you are looking for me to be in your area, as I say, we're starting to go international. Let me know where you are, and if we can put something together, let's see what we can do. I'm very, very excited to be doing that. Very happy
Yeah.
to be doing that.
Mhm.
And um, as I said to you earlier on, I'm really, really excited because we are coming. Well, the plan is to come to Ireland later in the year,
Yes. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we are definitely meeting. So there's going to be a lot of you and I together. Um, but I'm on. I've given you my LinkedIn um,
Yeah.
contact
So
details. I'm
we have the
also
LinkedIn. Yeah, we have your LinkedIn. We have your website. We have your
my
contact and
email address,
every.
my cell phone number. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram.
Yeah.
Also, if you're looking more for if something, you know, um, struck as interesting when we spoke about the team development that we're doing,
Mm-hmm.
my Facebook for that is Time for Teams.
Mm-hmm.
But you can pick it up off my Facebook profile anyway, because I
Yeah.
post all my stuff on my own personal profile as well.
Yeah, yeah. And
Oh,
just to say to everyone, all you need to do is to type in Faye Goodwin on your Google. Google will get her for you. It will search her, and you can see the Instagram, you can see our Facebook page, you can see our website, you can see every way in which you can be able to contact her. So for tonight, I'm going to say, for this evening, I say, I'm going to say bye to everyone. Just click on the link, watch us there. And just to say thank you to all those viewers that are joining us and for those that might have the opportunity to watch this video. So from myself, I'm going to say good night. And from everyone else,
Thank you.
thank you so
Thank
much,
you. Have a
and
good
good
evening.
night.
Thank you. Cheers.
yeah.